10 amazing ways that animals are smarter than you may realize. Everybody knows the accounts of crows that spot rocks into glasses to gain admittance to the water inside. However, did you know numerous different creatures are savvier than you may understand? Researchers have since quite a while ago discovered the exploration of creature insight to be a difficult undertaking, as contrasting creatures with people, or even creatures to different creatures, imply you may pass up some astute strategies they have used to get by in their environmental factors. How creatures have figured out how to adjust to their environmental factors is out and out staggering, and it might astound you how shrewd their answers for issues really are. The insight of chimpanzees is moderately notable, and as such, they are a basic objective for concentrate on by researchers. One way a chimp's memory has been contemplated is through concealing food under shaded boxes before them. The chimps at that point needed to point at a case, and if it contained food, they got it. After this, the memory part comes in, and the cases are covered up for 15 seconds, after which they can settle on another decision. Overall, chimpanzees had the option to recollect 4 things, with the best recalling up to 7. Presently this doesn't sound excessively great, however it turns out it is fundamentally the same as how people do on comparable tasks. But a chimp's memory doesn't stop there. Ayumu, the chimp outperforms people on some intellectual errands. A progression of numbers appears on a screen, and afterward, after a short measure of time, only 1/5 of a second, they are covered up by white boxes. People playing out this errand regularly neglect to recall every one of the numbers, however Ayumu experiences no difficulty with it, having the option to effectively remember arrangements of 9 numbers. Not to stress, however, we are as yet away of Planet of the Apes. The reality elephants are savvy as nothing unexpected. Their mind is multiple times bigger than a people, which implies they have multiple times the number of synapses as well. Indeed, elephant knowledge is very much considered, with proof that they can learn by emulating, empathy, and surprisingly focusing on different elephants less blessed than themselves. These are largely attributed not frequently seen inside the animals of the world collectively, as numerous creatures take care of just themselves. What is generally intriguing about elephants is that they can coordinate to accomplish an objective. Researchers tried this by placing food in a case, and the lone route for the elephants to get the food out is for 2 elephants to all the while pulling on 2 separate ropes. Elephants had the option to do this, and surprisingly more stunningly, after the elephants had learned they expected to cooperate to accomplish their objective, they didn't take a stab at pulling the ropes except if another elephant is close by. Thus, on the off chance that you at any point need an aiding trunk, simply track down a close-by elephant. 8 parrots can accomplish more than talk. Everyone realizes that parrots can recreate human language, however what is less notable is that some are accepted to have the option to comprehend what they are saying too. The best illustration of this is Alex the parrot, a really keen parrot whose name was an abbreviation for Avian Language Experiment. Alex was brilliant to such an extent that he had the option to effectively respond to questions made for human 6-year-olds, and due to this has been known as the Einstein of parrots. Alex had the option to recognize the 2 tones and shapes and answer inquiries regarding objects introduced to him. He realized how to recognize an assortment of articles by name, just as analyze them utilizing terms, for example, greater, and, more modest. At the point when the analysts worked with different parrots in the lab, Alex would frequently respond in due order regarding them, and advise different parrots to say better. Much crazier, the scientists accepted that he had the passion level of a 2-year-old. Tragically, Alex kicked the bucket out of the blue at 31 years old, with the analysts expressing that they don't really accept that Alex had arrived at his latent capacity yet. That title presumably sounds somewhat peculiar. You might be considering how a creature without arms and legs can emulate us, and that basic truth is the thing that makes it amazing. You may have been to a zoo and have seen chimps mirroring you or everyone around you, yet they have the right appendages to have the option to do this. It turns out dolphins can do this as well, utilizing their flippers and tail to endeavor to emulate what people are doing. If a human was to drift on their back in the water, the dolphin can duplicate them. If they fold their arms, the dolphin can imitate that likewise with their flippers. What is considerably greater is a dolphin's different faculties are so cutting edge, they can even copy human activities on the off chance that they are blindfolded, which for dolphins implies having eye cups put over their eyes. The capacity to get ready for what's to come is something that separates people from numerous creatures. We can adequately pick long-haul prizes over momentary prizes, which means we pick activities that advantage us more later on than ones that advantage us less at this point. Specific types of birds, the western scour jay, can do this as well. Scientists tried this by permitting these birds to get to and eat food, and afterward give them a time frame to permit the birds to store some nourishment for what's to come. The birds could eat first so their present enthusiastic state, hunger, would not affect their choice to store food. The birds decided to store nourishment for the following morning, showing they don't simply consider the present time and place, yet additionally can settle on choices that advantage them later on. Mirror use is regularly utilized as an appraisal of whether a creature can distinguish itself in a mirror, and shockingly couple of creatures are really ready to do it. On the off chance that you have a pet, have a go at setting them before a mirror and perceive how they respond. Some may even blow up another creature as in their home. Pigs then again, can utilize them for somewhat more mind-boggling tasks. Pigs were left with a mirror in their nook for around 5 hours, so they could become accustomed to it and how it functions, and after this period a food bowl was put in a detect that the pig could just transparent the mirror. Practically every one of the pigs tried had the option to discover the food rapidly. This is amazing, as it implies they had the option to recognize the food in the mirror, yet additionally, utilize the mirror to distinguish highlights inside their current circumstance and comprehend that it is an impression of this present reality. Pigs are probably the most intelligent creature, figuring out how to recognize arbitrary scrawls from those they have seen previously, and move a cursor on a screen utilizing their nose, so maybe it ought to be nothing unexpected they can utilize reflects so successfully.